Bonjour à tous. Écoutez, je voulais faire cette petite réaction
Hello,
parce
everyone.
que j'ai reçu
Listen,
d'ailleurs
I wanted to
des
make this
semaines
little
de
reaction because
de
I've been
remarques
receiving a
d'interpellations
lot
de
of
votre part,
comments and questions from
parfois
you
beaucoup
over
de
the
colère,
past
de
hours,
tristesse,
days, and
quelquefois des
weeks.
encouragements
Sometimes a lot of
sur
anger,
évidemment la
sadness,
décision qui nous a tous
sometimes
prise et
encouragement
aussi la
about the
situation,
decision we've
avant tout la
obviously made,
situation
and also
en
the
ce moment à
situation
Gaza.
above all, the situation right
Vous dire
now
que
in
comme vous,
Gaza.
j'ai été
So I wanted to tell you
blessé,
that, like you,
heurté et
I've been
partagé la
wounded,
douleur
hurt, and share the
de toutes
pain
les
of all the
familles de victimes
families
et
of the
d'otages
victims and
depuis octobre
hostages of
2023.
October 7th,
Que nous n'en oublions
2023,
aucune.
and that we haven't
Quelques jours
forgotten
encore
any of
ici même
them.
dans ce bureau,
Just a few days
j'étais aux
ago,
côtés de certaines
here
de
in
ces
this
familles.
very office, I was at the side
N'oublions
of some of these
absolument pas la
families.
peine, la
I'm not
souffrance,
forgetting the
la
pain,
détresse
suffering, and
des
distress
familles
of all the families of
de
victims
victimes de
in
Gaza et
Gaza,
ceux qui vivent
and of
aujourd'hui
those
sous
who
les
are living
bombardements
today
sans
under
avoir
the
accès à l'aide
bombardments
humanitaire.
without access
Et
to
au fond, toutes les
humanitarian
vies se
aid.
valent et
And in the
derrière ça, nous
end,
avons
all
des vies
lives are
volées,
equal. And behind it, we
des
have
vies
lives
emportées,
stolen,
des gens qui
lives
souffrent.
taken,
Et
people
ce que nous voulons, ce
suffering.
que veut la France,
And
c'est
what
la
we
paix.
want, what
Ce que
France
veut la
wants,
France,
is
c'est un
peace.
cessez-le-feu immédiat.
What France
Ce que veut
wants
la
is an
France,
immediate
c'est
ceasefire.
que les 48
What France
otages
wants
soient
is for the
libérés sans délai.
48
Ce que
hostages
veut
to
la
be
France, c'est
released
le
without
retour de l'aide
delay.
humanitaire à
What
Gaza.
France
Ce que
wants
veut
is
la
the
France, c'est
return
un
of
jour d'après
humanitarian aid
possible
to
à
Gaza.
Gaza, avec le
What
Hamas
France wants is
démantelé
a
et écarté
possible
du
day
pouvoir.
after in
Ce que
Gaza,
veut la France,
with Hamas
c'est une
dismantled
autorité
and removed
palestinienne
from power.
réinventée,
What France
renouvelée,
wants is a
des programmes
reinvented,
scolaires qui
renewed
n'enseigneront pas la
Palestinian
haine
Authority,
et
school curricula
les
that do
conditions
not
qui
teach
permettront la
hatred,
paix au
and the
cœur de cette
conditions that
autorité
will enable
palestinienne. Ce que
peace to
veut la
be at the
France,
heart of this
ce sont deux
Palestinian
États
Authority.
vivant en paix,
What France
côte
wants
à
are two
côte.
states living
Un État
side by
d'Israël
side
qui
in
reconnaît un
peace.
État de Palestine,
A state
un
of
État de
Israel that
Palestine qui reconnaît un
recognizes a
État
state of
d'Israël, un
Palestine.
État de
A
Palestine
state
qui
of
sera
Palestine that
démilitarisé
recognizes a
et qui
state of
vivra en
Israel.
paix aux
A
côtés
state of
d'Israël.
Palestine that
C'est
will be
cela ce que nous allons faire le
demilitarized
22
and live in peace
septembre à New
alongside
York.
Israel.
Cette
That's what we're
reconnaissance,
going
c'est
to
le
do
début
on
d'un chemin.
September
C'est un
22nd in New
parcours
York.
avec toutes
This
ses conditions,
recognition is
ses
the beginning
exigences
of a
pour les parties
journey.
prenantes.
It's a journey with all
Et au
its
fond, c'est un
conditions and
parcours, un chemin
requirements
pour
for
la paix,
stakeholders.
pour
And in
sauver
the
des
end,
vies
it's a journey, a
et
path for peace,
pour
to
essayer
save
ensemble
lives and to
d'être à
try
la hauteur
together
de
to
ce que
live
nous
up to the
devons,
human
la
dignity we
dignité
owe each
humaine.
other. Thank you very much.
In the face of the growing horror in the Middle East, we are acting to keep alive the possibility of peace and a two-state solution. That means a safe and secure Israel alongside a viable Palestinian state. At the moment, we have neither. Ordinary people, Israeli and Palestinian, deserve to live in peace, to try to rebuild their lives free from violence and suffering. That's what the British people desperately want to see. Yet, almost 2 years after the barbaric attacks of October the 7th, hostages are still held by the terrorists of Hamas. Recent images show the hostages suffering and emaciated. Hamas even refused to release all the bodies of the dead. I have met British families of the hostages. I see the torture that they endure each and every day. Pain that strikes deep in people's hearts across Israel and here in the United Kingdom. The hostages must be released immediately, and we will keep fighting to bring them home. Let's be frank. Hamas is a brutal terror organisation. Our call for a genuine two-state solution is the exact opposite of their hateful vision. So we are clear. This solution is not a reward for Hamas because it means Hamas can have no future, no role in government, no role in security. And we have already prescribed and sanctioned Hamas, and we will go further. I have directed work to sanction other Hamas figures in the coming weeks. Meanwhile, the man-made humanitarian crisis in Gaza reaches new depths. The Israeli government's relentless and increasing bombardment of Gaza, the offensive of recent weeks, the starvation and devastation are utterly intolerable. Tens of thousands have been killed, including thousands as they tried to collect food and water. This death and destruction horrifies all of us. It must end. We have evacuated the first group of sick and injured children to the United Kingdom to be treated by the NHS, and we continue to increase our humanitarian support. But still, nowhere near enough aid is getting through. We call again on the Israeli government to lift the unacceptable restrictions at the border, stop these cruel tactics, and let the aid surge in. With the actions of Hamas, the Israeli government escalating the conflict, and settlement building being accelerated in the West Bank, the hope of a two-state solution is fading. But we cannot let that light go out. That is why we are building consensus with leaders in the region and beyond around our framework for peace. This is a practical plan to bring people together behind a common vision and a series of steps, including the reform of the Palestinian Authority, that takes us from a ceasefire in Gaza to negotiations on a two-state solution. We will keep driving this forward. As part of this effort, I set out in July the terms upon which we would act in line with our manifesto to recognise Palestinian statehood. That moment has now arrived. So today, to revive the hope of peace and a two-state solution, I state clearly, as Prime Minister of this great country, that the United Kingdom formally recognises the State of Palestine. We recognised the State of Israel more than 75 years ago as a homeland for the Jewish people. Today, we join over 150 countries who recognise a Palestinian state also. A pledge to the Palestinian and Israeli people that there can be a better future. I know the strength of feeling that this conflict provokes. We have seen it on our streets, in our schools, in conversations we've had with friends and family. It has created division. Some have used it to stoke hatred and fear, but that solves nothing. Not only must we reject hate, we must redouble our efforts to combat hatred in all its forms. We must channel our efforts, united together in hope, behind the peaceful future that we want to see. The release of the hostages, an end to the violence, an end to the suffering, and a shift back towards a two-state solution as the best hope for peace and security for all sides.
I have a clear message to those leaders who recognize a Palestinian state after the terrible massacre of October 7th. You are giving a huge reward to terrorism. And I have another message for you. It will not happen. There will be no Palestinian state west of the Jordan. For years, I have prevented the establishment of this terrorist state in the face of enormous pressure, both from home and abroad. We did it with determination, and we did it with political wisdom. Indeed, we doubled Jewish settlement in Judea and Samaria, and we will continue on this path. The response to the latest attempt to impose a terrorist state on us in the heart of our country will be given after my return from the United States. We will wait.